Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today is a violin review of the Cecilio CVN500 violin that I have here. So I've got lots of violin reviews on pretty much the entire Cecilio and Mendini range. They'll all be linked in the description bar down below this video. So have a click go down there, have a little click, and you can see all the other videos and everything. I've done some versus violins as well, so the 400 versus the 500, 100 versus 200, all that kind of thing. So, as I usually do, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Cecilio say. So they're saying that it's a ebony fitted flamed violin. So it's a hand-carved solid spruce, hand-carved solid flamed maple back and maple sides. So here is the back. It looks like it's a two-piece back to me. Satin antique varnish finish. It has hand inlaid perfing, ebony fingerboard, pegs and chin rest, ebony tailpiece with 4 nickel plated fine tuners that you've got here that are very nice, good quality tuners as well actually. D'Addario prelude strings, which practically, I believe, come on standard on pretty much the entire CVN range. They don't come as standard on the Mendini range, but they do on the entire CVN range. So that's about it about what they say. I'm going to play a little demonstration for you so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'm going to go through some pros and cons and the summary. Quick little demonstration of this one, the CVN500. So I think I'm not sure how much the microphone picks up, but I can tell you what I hear from what I hear in the room. I think, in all honesty, I think something like this needs warming up. It feels a little bit like I'm trying to push the violin, and I almost wonder whether it just needs some slightly better quality strings on this sort of violin. It felt like that possibly the strings weren't responding in kind of conjunction with the violin. So the violin was kind of, you know, an 8 out of 10. The strings are sort of a 4 out of 10. Put the two together and you're having to work really, really hard on the strings. I think this violin has the capability of having a lot of power behind it, but I just wasn't getting it from the strings. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think that for this one, I don't think these are the right strings. So it just, you know, whatever set of strings it needs on, it just needs another set of strings on, I think. Something different perhaps. Having said that though, you don't need to go out and buy another set of strings. The D'Addario preludes are perfectly adequate, which is why they've put them on here as standard. But I think where this sits in the entire Cecilio range, ranges from the CVN100 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 800 being their kind of their premier instrument at $1,200. So that's quite a lot of money. The 100, I believe, starts at around about 80, 90, something like that, kind of 95 sort of dollars. So this one is priced at around about $200 from Amazon.com. If there's any alteration on that price, I'll put a link coming up, or I'll put the price flashing up if it's any different from $200 roughly on Amazon.com. So I just think that the 100, 200, 300 are your student violins, ideal for someone who's just starting out, and the 300 is obviously the best of the student violins. The 4 and the 500 are pretty much bang in the middle. They're your kind of intermediate, so you can buy a 4 or a 500 if you've bought a 1, 2 or a 3, for example. And then you've got the 6, 7 and 8, which are your advanced, with the 8 being the most or the best one of the advanced and the 6 being the lower end of the advanced. I think this possibly almost pushes itself into the advanced category along with the 6, 7 and 8. I don't think it actually does, because I just don't think it's as good as the 600, 700 or 800, but it's just trying to put its foot in the door. It's just trying to poke its way into that. Hence why I think just having perhaps a slightly nicer set of strings on there would be nicer. It's quite a deep, rich sort of tone. It sounds a little bit muffled at the moment, but I think with some playing in, with several months of playing, that kind of thing, I think the tone would really start to come out with this. But at the moment it's very difficult for me to tell because I haven't played it as much. I'm just trying to review from based on here. But I wouldn't say it was particularly bright and high. I'd say it was more, it was richer, deeper, and a little bit more mellower perhaps. I'd say that's probably where the tone, in my opinion, that's where the tone lies with this. So the pros, pretty much what I've just said. I really like the tuners. It was quite nice to tune. You know, it looks nice. It's all non-offensive. Yeah, it's okay. Negative points, perhaps just a better set of strings. Perhaps the next one's up from the D'Addario Prelude, so you could put some dominants on there or have a play around with some parastros or something. But you don't need to, but you can, and I think it will improve the violin with a nicer set of strings on there. Apart from that, it depends if you like the kind of the satin varnish finish. Some people do, some people don't, but overall I think this is a nice looking violin. I can't really think of any other negative points with this. I suppose the bridge for me isn't quite as angled. So there's a slight possibility of hitting some of the strings there, but I mean, you know, you can just swap it out and you can just get another bridge if you wanted to from somewhere else, and you know, that kind of thing. But you know, that just depends on your style of playing, doesn't it? I suppose if this would be good for someone who has bought the 100, 200 or the 300, or they've bought a beginner violin and they want to upgrade to something a little bit different or something a little bit better without spending too much money. This is $200 roughly, so you know, $200 is $200, but it's not a massive amount of money compared to $500 or $600. So it would be a really nice upgrade violin. You could buy this as a beginner. It might be a little bit overkill or a little bit expensive. You could probably buy the 300 or the 400 if you were a complete beginner and you wanted something a bit better than the really cheap ones to start with. So I think this is probably suitable for, or more suited for, an upgrade violin. You could probably just about get away with playing this in an orchestra, in your school orchestra or something. So I definitely think it would cut the mustard for that one. So I think it would be nice for performances and everything. So yeah, probably an intermediate or someone who is just going from sort of beginner and just sort of wants a little bit something else. So there we go. Don't forget to check all my other reviews out in the description bar down below, and I'll see you in the next video.